Hey guys, it's Courtney from Willow's Bloom, and today I'm here to talk to you guys about the Libra new moon, which is happening on October 6th, and it's happening at 13 degrees of Libra. So this new moon is basically starting a new beginning, and we're going to see this really unfold over the next 6 months. And I'm a little bit concerned. Normally when I see Libra, especially new moon in Libra, I think about us building new relationships, having a greater sense of equality, compassion, understanding for others. However, this moon is exactly conjunct Mars, which is the planet of war, of military, of metal, fighting, police, discord, disagreements. So what I'm thinking is that we're having a new beginning in terms of fighting for what we believe is just, is fair, and is right. So I think that on a more global scale, we can start to see things erupt a little bit, especially because Mars is making a quincunx to Uranus, which has a little bit of an explosive or sudden quality to it. I think a lot of us might feel pushed or forced to act out and to defend ourselves. And I think that this could be on a personal level as well as a larger global level. There is a division that can happen with this new moon because Mars is a divisive quality. So there can be groups of people that start to kind of have the same ideas, but there are separate groups that don't see eye to eye. So what I feel like is going to happen is that there are going to be people who feel like they have to, like they are pushed to act out, rebel, defend themselves in some way. So we could see this coming through in terms of having more riots or demonstrations, or people taking to the streets to tell the government that they are not happy with certain things that are happening. And we can see that that makes a lot of sense. What's going on already in our world right now, we already have some of these demonstrations taking place. I know that they had some in France, for example. I know that Australia has a lot of pushback. So there are these pockets already emerging, and I feel like this new moon is symbolizing this need to step up and kind of fight for what we want, go after what we want, defend ourselves when necessary, but going after what we think is fair and right in our life. And also creating a greater sense of beauty in our life, which is normally what Libra and Venus and all these planets are associated with, is creating beauty, harmony, and all this. Sometimes you have to fight to create this harmony. Sometimes you have to fight for peace. And so I kind of am seeing this really passionate new beginning in a lot of our lives, which on a personal scale might be us needing to hold certain boundaries, might be us needing to fight certain fights, or it could be us really learning how to grow in confidence and go after what we want without holding ourselves back. I will say, though, it's a little concerning to me that Chiron is opposite this new moon. To me, this indicates that there can be some painful experiences that result from this, or it can also signify triggering of past experiences, and that's kind of where we feel the need to defend ourselves, at least in our personal lives. So for example, if you were hurt as a child and somebody tries to hurt you that same way as an adult, whatever that is, that has a deep wound for you. And so it's a lot more triggering for someone to say or do something around that area of your life because you already are wounded there. And so I could see that kind of coming up with this new moon in Libra are certain triggers in our relationships that need to be really, I guess, sorted out or healed and discovered. And I feel like this moon is not necessarily about healing and or anything like that, but it's going to bring it to the surface, essentially. It's going to bring up the trouble. It's going to stir up any animosity or issues that have been laying dormant but have already been there. I really feel like this is a totally new beginning. I feel like a lot of us are very emotionally invested into whatever this is. And we're willing to put in and fight for changes to be made on a societal level, in our personal lives. And Mars is all about cutting things away. It's about eliminating. And so we have to think about this in our own life, what we need to eliminate. And Mars is also asking us to go kind of head first into whatever trouble or problems there are. But that's also another challenge of this as well, because with the quincunx to Uranus, and also with Pluto moving direct today, which is a heavyweight planet, and then on top of that, the fact that this new moon is sitting on top of a fixed star named Algorab, I think that some of the results of us acting right away or acting impulsively or on our emotions can actually create negative results as well. So on one hand, Mars is pushing us to take action immediately. On the other hand, we could have difficult consequences as a result of these kind of immediate decisions in our life. So Libra, Mars being in Libra, it's asking us to maybe put a little bit of a pause or a little bit of a pump the brakes a little bit, consider and weigh your options a little bit, but still, I guess, dive in. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that we don't want to go immediately, but we don't want to hesitate too long, because sometimes Mars and Libra can do that. So it's this interesting balance between the pure energy of Mars versus the energy of Mars in this sign. So there needs to be a little bit of a delay, a little bit of a consideration of the consequences, so that we don't regret things that we do later on. However, we don't want to hesitate so much, especially with that opposition with Chiron and Aries. There can be this lack of confidence in this delay that we inherently take, because we're not so sure if we have the right to defend this of ourselves, or if we have the right to ask for this, or if this is what we stand for, if this is who we are. There might be some questioning around that with Chiron and Aries. And so we don't want to delay too much. So yeah. As I mentioned before, this is taking place on the fixed star Algorab. This makes me nervous because there are certain countries that have this fixed star in their birth chart as a prominent feature. And it is typically occurring in countries that have a lot more negativity and malice and destruction inherent in the way that they take action as a country. So an example of this would be North Korea. So the fact that this new moon is starting on a fixed star that has to do with destruction, that has to do with fighting, that has to do with lying, it makes me nervous that some of the negative energies can come out from this. And it also makes me nervous, especially about things like the police or the military having a stronger influence as a result of this, and it not necessarily being a good thing, because if there are people in the streets and then the military is coming out and hurting them, obviously that's bad. So I kind of see that as a possibility at this new moon. It doesn't necessarily have to be right now. This is something that's going to really be developing over the next 6 months. So I can see a lot more unrest essentially occurring, where people just don't see eye to eye, and they really feel like they have to fight for what's right and establish different laws, different rules, and people are going to be disagreeing. And that discord, I think, is going to be really prevalent on a societal level and country to country even. On a personal level, I think it could give a really positive new beginning, because Mars being conjunct the Sun is a cycle that happens every 2 years, every 2 to 3 years. So on a personal level, I feel like there's going to be a new beginning, because Mars is going to be conjunct the Sun, and this only happens every 2 years. And the Sun is the king of the zodiac that whispers in the ears of all the planets around it, giving it wisdom, giving it direction, giving it light and clarity. So once, not right when it's next to it, but once it passes the Sun, it will then start to experience some of this wisdom actualized and be able to take some of that with it. So it's starting a little bit of a new cycle for us. So wherever you have Libra in your chart, you're going to have some of this passionate beginnings or these new kind of ideas coming to you. And if it's not necessarily a new idea, it could be you guys just having some kind of thing that really feels exciting to pursue. So it's maybe something that's already been on your mind. It could just be a new beginning in the sense of gaining confidence in that area of your life. So it doesn't have to necessarily be a new idea, but it's some kind of reprogramming or resetting within the cells for you to be able to go after what you want and have the confidence and the tenacity to do so and know that you deserve it and you have the right for that thing. So that is pretty much what I'm seeing here. It doesn't look that positive. We also have Mercury making a trine to Jupiter still, which is positive, but this has been kind of going on for a while. Generally, when Mercury is trining Jupiter, this is giving us some kind of positive news or ideas. But again, this is not the first time we've experienced this. This is already present in the last full moon, so I don't know if we're going to continue to receive this blessings in terms of having another idea come, maybe, for some of us. But generally, I feel like it's going to ease some of the tension that could exist in this somewhat challenging new moon. So now I'm going to break this down for all of the rising signs. So if you know your rising sign, keep watching. And if you don't, you might want to go ahead and check that out in your chart on astro.com, or you can watch for your sun sign, which is also relevant. It's just going to affect the houses a little bit. So it's going to be prevalent for your life, but not as prevalent as the rising sign would be. So yeah, go ahead and stay tuned to that now. All right, up first we have Aries Rising. So for you guys, this new moon in Libra is happening in your 7th house of relationships. So you guys could have a new beginning in relationships, but you also, because Mars being there, you also might find that you get a little bit feistier in your relationships, or have some of things come up in relationships where you feel like you need to defend yourself, or you get a little bit more frustrated with somebody, and yeah, that type of thing. So I am pulling some cards to kind of go along with it. And Chiron is moving through your 1st house, and it is activated during this new moon. So it can bring up issues around worthiness and confidence in relationships and with other people. So for example, if you have somebody that's kind of pushing you a little bit, you might question yourself during this time. Alternatively, you could be kind of going in the opposite direction and being overly confident. It kind of depends on your chart, but it can also kind of trigger things from the past, from your childhood, as a result of some of these tensions or experiences that you have with other people. I pulled the card Revenge, Outcome, and Justice. She who avenges. So that's kind of what I'm seeing here, particularly in relationships. It might feel like you have to stand up for yourself in some way. Or if something was done wrong to you, this can be a longer process of trying to seek justice through these relationships. So whatever did happen, you might be wanting to basically have some kind of retribution for what happened to you or whatever disagreement you had with somebody. So again, this is a new moon, which means the energy is felt for 2 weeks, but the full story really unfolds over the course of 6 months. So you might find that a month from now, you have a disagreement with somebody, and that you feel like you need to kind of get justice for whatever that disagreement or that wrongdoing was. It's interesting because I pulled the 8 of Wands, which is all about moving really quickly. So I feel like this could possibly be related to something to do with work, because I pulled the 8 of Wands with the King of Pentacles. Even though the astrology that I'm looking at is around relationships, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's only going to be in intimate partnerships. It could be around anything. this might actually be coming from something happening at work where somebody doesn't like an idea that you have, or you don't feel included, or you don't like somebody else's idea. The Four of Cups is kind of like rejecting a blessing. So the feeling that I'm getting from this is that maybe at work you have a conversation with someone and present an idea or a solution or your project, and someone like rejects it or does not fully accept it. Or they could accept it, and that is the justice. So if they reject it, that it would be, I mean, I feel like they are going to reject it with the Four of Cups, or you think that they will. So yeah, it's like there is some kind of justice to whatever this outcome is. Like you're able to fight for it in a way, like to fight to have your voice heard. And at some point, it's going to allow the situation to come full circle and for there to be an improvement. I pulled the future card, so to me, this is saying that the event has not happened yet, but will happen later on. And I also pulled a card that says healing, which is, I feel like, Chiron in the first house. It's this healing that's desiring to happen through your relationships, your confidence, your sense of self, you really to stand up for yourself, and ask for really what you desire. And I feel like the universe is on your side with this. I feel like maybe there could be moments where you feel like you're left out in the dark, or like people are not like seeing what you have to offer fully. But I feel like it's going to come full circle and it's actually going to improve. So yeah, that's what I see for you guys, Aries Rising. If you guys are interested in learning astrology or finding your purpose through astrology, then you can check out the North Node Society, linked in the description box below. Have a great day. Bye. Actually, there's one more thing that I wanted to add for Aries Rising. Since Mars is your chart ruler and your planetary ruler, what I see for that is when it's communing with the sun, first of all, I wanted to say just be a little bit careful with your health for everyone right now, but especially you guys, since Mars is your chart ruler. It can be burned by the sun, so you can have more heat, more inflammation, or be more accident prone. The other thing I wanted to say is that since it's now aligning with the sun, it's beginning a new 2-year cycle for you. So you're almost having this like rebirth experience. It is coming through with a little bit of like tension or struggle that we're all experiencing with this new moon, but I feel like it's going to help you grow in confidence, and I think it's going to, yeah, basically start a new journey for you wherever this is in your life. So this could be in your career, this could be in your health. You're growing in confidence, you're growing in stamina in that area. So that is what I see for you, Aries Rising. Thank you. All right, up next we have Taurus Rising. So for you guys, this new moon in Libra is happening in your 6th house of work, health, daily routines, and Mars is there conjunct it. So I would definitely give you a warning to just watch out a little bit for your health. Be a little bit more mindful of what you're eating, and if you're sleeping, if you're taking care of yourself properly, because Mars combust the sun can lead to more accidents, like I was saying for Aries, or it can lead to inflammation or just general like health issues. For you guys, this is interesting. So this moon, as I said, is conjunct Mars and is in Libra. So it's bringing up general relationship things for everyone because of the sign Libra, even though it's in the 6th house, which is not so much relationship related at all, but I am getting some cards that are kind of directing me towards that. I feel like for you guys, this might bring up some things from the past, especially around relationships in the past, and maybe people who have hurt you in the past, and especially because it's making an opposition to Chiron in the 12th. The 12th, I feel like, is often related to past issues, and Chiron especially can show some of those traumas. And so the fact that this is triggering Chiron in the 12th, I feel like there needs to be some healing and forgiveness around some pain from past relationships, especially where you felt like things were not fair or things were not just, because that's what Libra is about. And it's also the 6th house is related to putting so much energy and effort into things and not getting a fair result. Having to put so much into relationships and feeling like you still don't get what you deserve. You still aren't met with the same love and affection and commitment that you are giving to other people. So this can come up right now to be healed. You might be a little bit frustrated right now. This could be in relation to your work. It doesn't have to be relationships. It could be feeling like you have been putting so much of your heart and your soul into your work and their work hasn't been giving it back, or the relationship, there's some feeling of like debt here that you almost have to forgive and release and let go. It might be forgiving yourself, it might be forgiving other people, but there's some imbalance that needs to be kind of just like blessed and like let go, if that makes sense. So if you're holding on to any animosity, I feel like that can really come to the surface right now. That anger, that frustration is here to protect you, but ultimately I feel like you're ending that chapter by releasing it and forgiving it. And I feel like you'll step into a new chapter with your work and with yourself and with your life. One that is much more passionate, much more abundant. I feel like this is you who gets your wishes come true. And you're going to have the kind of stamina and drive to go after what you want if you're able to forgive the past person or the past situation that didn't feel fair or didn't feel just. The reason I say that is because I got the wishes granted card. I got the Empress card, which is all about abundance, and the Knight of Wands. So this is you really employing your gravitas, your energy, your excitement towards a goal, and actually seeing that be fulfilled in this new cycle. Because with Mars conjunct the Sun, it's starting a brand new 2-year cycle. Maybe this last 2 years you felt like you're putting a lot of energy into a relationship or into work and didn't feel like it was coming back. Now this is a brand new cycle where you can let go of that and actually get equal, actually receive equal things based off of the effort that you put in. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. It feels like some really beautiful things coming in through work, especially because Mercury is in the 6th, making a trine to Jupiter in the 10th. Even though it's separating right now, I do feel like these blessings are specifically coming in through your work life, and you're going to start feeling like you have this greater sense of abundance. So that feels really exciting for you, Taurus Rising. If you are interested in learning astrology or finding out your purpose through astrology, then I recommend checking out the North Node Society, which I link in the description box below. I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have Gemini Rising. So for you guys, this new moon in Libra is happening in your 5th house of romance. And I just pulled the Star card because the 5th house to me is extremely optimistic. It's trining the ascendant, which means that it's a house of good luck, of general prosperity, where things can cultivate and grow over time. And that feels really exciting to me. I feel like there is some kind of sense of hope coming in through this through this new moon. And I just pulled the Lovers card. So I feel like whatever this new found hope is likely in your romantic life, since the 5th house has a lot to do with romantic connections. It might not be that case for everyone, because the 5th house is also our connection and our love for our children. So some of you guys might be having restored faith or restored hope in your relationships in general, with your children, with a romantic partner, and even with social friends, because the 5th house is a very social house. But I feel like this hope is coming on the back of a changed perspective with this Hanged Man. I feel like you guys are really here to shift some kind of old cycle or in relationships. And I think a lot of this cycle was perpetuated by a certain mindset or belief pattern about people. So yeah, because all of us are having this kind of brand new cycle occur, because Mars conjunct the Sun begins a new 2-year cycle on Mars's journey. And I feel like you guys are going to be growing in confidence, because the 5th house is also about our authenticity, living our truth, not being afraid to shine our light and share who we are. And it's opposite Chiron in the 11th, which is for all of us questioning our questioning our sense of confidence. And specifically with Chiron in the 11th, it's questioning it because you have a greater desire maybe to belong. And it kind of has that juxtaposition of how much do I want to shine bright, stand out, and shine my light, versus how much do I want to belong to this group? How much do I want to feel included? Because it can feel scary or dangerous to stand out. And so I think that can be a theme that comes up right now, and you're being asked to heal that desire to fit in or shrink down or shrink away and stand up in a greater sense of confidence in yourself. And again, I really feel like you guys are being called to shift a perspective around a certain relationship with somebody. I think that there might be someone specific that this is about, or it could be just generally like a certain type of relationship in your life, like your relationship with women, your relationship with men, or your romantic relationships, or your children, or your family. There's some type of relationship that you need to shift your perspective on. And I think it's once you do that, once you have this new idea or way of thinking about it, I feel like, again, you're going to have optimism and growth in that area of your life, and it's going to feel really good is what I'm saying for you guys. So that's what I'm saying. These readings are short because this moon is kind of simplified. There's not a lot of aspects going on, but generally I feel like you guys are getting a better perspective on some relationships in your life, on some social connections, and growing in confidence of who you are. So that's what I see for you guys, Gemini. If this resonates, please like and comment down below. If you're interested in learning astrology, I have a membership where I take you through how to find and live your purpose, and that's called the North Node Society, linked in the description box below if you are curious about that. So I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have Cancer Rising. So for you guys, Cancer Rising, this new moon in Libra is happening in your 4th house of home and family. And I am pulling some major arcana for you, so it feels like this is substantial, which makes sense. This is happening in an angular house, which typically has a big impact on us personally and is much more noticeable in our lives. You are having a new beginning in the home and family area, but specifically, we are all having a really new beginning because there's a brand new 2-year cycle with Mars, since it's reaching the sun, and it's going to be cleansed by the sun, informed by the king of the sun, and then it's going to start another 2-year cycle alone. So essentially what I'm seeing for a lot of us is gaining of confidence, and I feel like this is going to be really impacting you on a very foundational level, because the 4th house is our foundation. It's our emotions, it's our roots, it's what comprises who we are. And so I feel like you guys are gaining more strength and confidence in yourself and your ability to go and achieve your goals, and not having as much trepidation or hesitation in making bigger life decisions and kind of going after the things you want without hesitating. I pulled the card, She Who Rises Up, Empower, Uplift, Elevate. And that's what I feel like you guys are doing in general in your life right now, is you are uplifting yourself and telling yourself that you are able to go after these things, and not hesitating as much. Like I was saying before, you're just kind of diving into it. This moon is opposite Chiron in the 10th. So some of this like trepidation is likely specifically in your career, where you've maybe had some setbacks over these last few years since it's been moving through your 10th for a while. You maybe have had some more difficult experiences in your career, or you feel like you are maybe just having less confidence in that area of your life. And I feel like once you are going through this moon and actually taking some time to kind of integrate some more of this masculine energy and look into the past to see where you maybe have given your power away to other people, authority figures, or institutions where you felt like they were too good for you or better than you, or where other people made you doubt yourself. Whatever that is, I feel like you guys are trying to integrate more of the masculine, take back your power and your confidence so you can make quick decisions and big decisions. So I pulled the 8 of Wands for you. And so to me, this is having rapid movement because you are saying yes to opportunities now. You are taking action on ideas that you've had previously that you've doubted yourself on. And because you're doing this, you are shifting the tides in your favor with this Wheel of Fortune. You're going to start to see that this newfound confidence and the desire to take action and follow through is going to start shifting everything in your life. Just simply taking action and not doubting and not hesitating is enough to completely change the entire path of all areas of your life. And I feel like you guys are being asked to make some big judgment calls and big decisions, and you're awakening to a greater sense of your own power and authority. And so all of these questions that you're answering, all these decisions that you're making, it's coming from your own inner authority, which is being strengthened at this new moon. And with this Page of Cups, I feel like it's giving you a new emotional beginning in your life, in your career, and in your sense of self. So generally, I just feel like you guys are ending some type of cycle of self-doubt and maybe even self-sabotage. You're releasing some of those things. You're taking your power back, and you're able to make much quicker decisions, bigger decisions that are going to shift the whole cycle of your life. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. If this resonates, please like and comment down below. And if you guys are interested, I am teaching astrology in a membership called the North Node Society. And I basically am teaching it all around purpose. So if you're wanting to figure out kind of more about your life purpose, then go ahead and head over to the North Node Society linked in the description box below. And I don't know if I already said this, but if you like the video, please like and comment. I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have Leo Rising. So I am excited for you guys. Oh, okay. Okay. So first of all, this new moon in Libra is happening in your third house of communication, of mindset and ideas. And this to me is saying that you definitely might experience a little bit more fighting than normal because Mars is going to be conjunct this moon. So instead of having your normal maybe open-mindedness with Libra in the third, or even indecisiveness, or trying to see things from other people's perspectives, that type of thing that you likely have, I feel like you guys are much more defensive, or you're going to fight more for your opinion and not be necessarily trying to like agree with everybody else at this time. It's interesting because I start off, in terms of the cards, I start off with the Six of Wands, which is about success. It's about victory, things going right in your life. And so you guys also have Mercury in the third trining Jupiter in the seventh. So I feel like you guys could be winning something, like winning an argument, or I don't know if I want to say winning an argument. I mean, it's possible, but I don't feel like it's necessarily that. I feel like something is going really right in your life and in your relationships, and then I feel like something happens that's difficult. Because basically, having Mercury in the third trining Jupiter in the seventh, this has been going on for the few days before this moon. So what that indicates to me is actually feeling like you're understanding and communicating well in your relationships, like things are flowing. But then this new moon occurs in the third house, which stirs the pot, and it adds in a little bit of the feistiness of Mars and the lack of understanding and division that it brings to the table. And with the opposition with Chiron, I feel like these are differences in beliefs, and you might even kind of question your own beliefs in this circumstance. You might not even be totally certain about your stance, but you might feel innately that you want to defend what you believe in. I got this Rise Up card, Empower, Uplift, Elevate. I got that in another reading as well. And to me, this is really indicating that you guys are trying to empower yourselves or rise up and defend your own beliefs, your own ideas with other people. I also got the She Who Calms, Stillness, Purity, and Quiet. So it's interesting because this is such a different, I feel like these are almost the recommendations to rise up and hold your confidence, your sense of knowing, elevate yourself, empower yourself, believe in yourself. But then the stillness card is also saying that just because you are elevated and you know what you believe, it doesn't mean that you need to have this argument with someone else or talk about this with someone else or share your ideas even. Just because you believe it doesn't mean that other people need to believe it. Doesn't mean that you need to be in agreement, because the Sun conjunct Mars is kind of like, especially in Libra, is kind of like, let's agree to disagree. You're not going to have necessarily the same reconciliation as you would normally have with Libra energy. And so I feel like the recommendation here is to stay calm, to stay still, to not react, because I feel like what's going to happen if you react is that you might feel like you won the battle but lost the war. I do think that you could break at some point. If someone pushes you too far with this Nine of Wands, this is somebody who has to endure something. So this is followed by the Five of Swords, which is again about fighting and being challenged and challenging others. And so I feel like it's possible that somebody could push you to your limit where you break and say something. But I think generally the recommendation here is to not so much even have this conversation at all, because I feel like it's not, like, sharing these ideas and things are not actually necessary for your success. I feel like you're already successful right now, and that's why you started off with this Six of Wands. It's like you guys already have this, like, you guys already have what you need right now in relationships. And the thing about the Six of Wands also is that there are eyes on her. There are people watching her. And so it might also feel like people are attacking you if they disagree with something that you say, because you are public. So if you have some kind of like public social media or something like that and you're posting stuff, I feel like people might come at you for that. Like, there can be some conflict of ideas and beliefs really coming to the surface with this. I also pulled the Three of Wands and the Wheel of Fortune. So I kind of feel like you guys are just being told to walk away. The Three of Wands to me is a movement card. It's leaving a situation. So I feel like this isn't something, normally with Mars, I say like, we're being called to step up and fight for what's right. But there are times when we have to recognize that other people actually have their own ideas and beliefs, and standing up for what's right doesn't necessarily mean defending what we believe is right. Sometimes it's believing what we want, but also allowing other people to believe what they want. And if you can walk away from whatever this is and not try to sit there in the fight, I feel like it's going to shift things in your life for the better. I don't think you're going to continue to experience bullies or difficult conversations if you're able to just walk away, if you're able to find that stillness and find that quiet. I feel like you guys are just kind of learning a lot about self-expression, your beliefs, and what is worth fighting for and what isn't. And so that might become really prevalent at this time. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys, Leo. If that resonates, please like and comment down below. And if you're interested in learning astrology, specifically astrology around your purpose and kind of how to discover that, how to live in authenticity with that, and how astrology helps you do that, then you'll definitely want to check out the North Node Society, which is linked in the description box below. That's my membership, and we have calls there every month. So I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have Virgo Risings. So for you guys, this new moon in Libra is happening in your second house of finances. And it's interesting. I keep kind of pulling similar cards for people. So it's a new beginning for you financially. So that's exciting, especially in terms of your... okay, so let me explain this in a better way. So essentially what's happening is a brand new cycle with Mars, because Mars is going to be conjunct the Sun. It's going to receive wisdom and cleansing, purification from the Sun, and then it's going to leave and start its own journey for 2 years, only to come back again. So essentially this beginning is happening in your finances. I feel like it's burning away maybe some old perspectives around money that you haven't experienced in a while, or that you need to address in order for this new cycle to really commence. And with Mars, there is definitely a sense of confidence that is coming to the surface. And I pulled the Six of Pentacles. And this to me is about giving and receiving equally. So being really gracious and giving to others, but also being open to receiving. And you can see there's a scale here. It's a balance here. And this is Libra in your second. So there does need to be a greater sense of balance. And I feel like part of the reason why Mars is here is indicating that there might need to be greater confidence in order to ask for that balance. So whether that's asking for a raise, requesting money for your business, or just developing a sense of inner confidence and value your work, your effort, your time, value yourself, your self-worth. Sometimes it's just the inner stuff that really needs to be worked on in order to start having the external world recognize and give us what we see in ourselves. I feel like you guys are going to achieve this with the Six of Wands card. To me, it's saying this Mars here with the Sun is helping you grow in that confidence. It's helping you become sure of yourself and victoriously start to get this recognition and success that is going to help you get equal payment. But you can't get equal payment without first recognizing that self-worth that is so important, asking for what you need. After this, I pulled the Nine of Wands though. So I am kind of wondering what that means. You guys have an opposition happening with Chiron that's occurring with this moon. And so there can be some issues around money still, especially like past debts, things that you maybe haven't paid off yet, or worries about finances. So there can be this still continuing struggle around money, even though things start to become more even and you become more confident. With this Nine of Wands happening after the Six of Wands, to me it feels like the middle of this story is still a little bit rough around the edges. Let me pull a card to clarify. It's possible you could also have fights about money or have more issues around money in your life in general that cause anger, frustration, bitterness, especially because I pulled this She Who Regrets card, battle, victory, and bitterness. There might be some regrets around finances or fights that you have about finances, or just if it's not fights, it could be just general negative emotions that you experience around finances that are causing some level of distress and that you kind of wish you didn't have to experience. With that regret card, you kind of wish it was just flowing to you easily. So I'm really taking those as some kind of advice card. So I feel like what it's advising you to do is to not do or say anything that you would regret when it comes to money. So for the Nine of Wands, I pulled new beginnings, knowledge, radical acceptance, death, and magic. Okay, so it feels like some old part of you guys is dying off. This death and magic card to me is saying that you have to release this ongoing burden you've been holding, in terms of worrying about money, in terms of feeling like you're not deserving. There is some heavy burden with the Nine of Wands. And so it's having to burn that away, having to throw that away. And the magic card is saying to start manifesting something that actually feels like it's in alignment with you. Manifesting something that you feel like you have some sense of control over, instead of being a victim to the change of the winds. I feel like this is getting a greater sense of control over your finances in general. But before you can gain that sense of control, you have to radically accept who you are and where you're at. Do you struggle with certain things? You know, what are your spending habits? What are your emotional issues around money? You have to first accept those before you can manifest anything new. Then you have to educate yourself on how to address those specific issues with this knowledge card. Rely on other people and stick to what they say, adhere to it, and you will have a brand new beginning with money. I really feel like you guys are carrying some type of burden there that doesn't need to be there. And with this King of Wands, I really feel like you're going to start, with this King of Wands, not just start, you're going to end up in this place of mastery. The King has fully mastered this suit. And the Wands are about passion, about emotional investment. The King of Wands is also about intelligence, inventiveness, self-assuredness, setting examples for others, having courage in your convictions. So basically, I feel like you guys are going to put your money where your mouth is type of thing. I feel like you're going to end this cycle in this prosperity, having greater control over your finances and being really passionate about this topic, about your confidence, leading to your finance, like how your confidence affects your finances. I feel like you guys are going to become like the leader in that because you've had to go through this evolution. So I really feel like 2 years from now, once this cycle is over, you're going to see how much you've changed with your relationship with money. It's going to impact you, and you'll be able to teach other people similarly, even if it's just a friend and just mentioning it on YouTube or whatever. You don't have to become like a financial coach by any means, but I see you learning enough from it, mastering it enough that you're able to share that passion and that wisdom with other people. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys, Virgo Rising. If this resonates, please like and comment down below. If you are interested in learning astrology for yourself, specifically around your life purpose, then I highly suggest checking out the North Node Society, which is linked in the description box below. And I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have Libra Rising. So for you guys, this is happening in your first house, this new moon, which is a very big deal because, as I've been mentioning with everyone so far, this is a brand new cycle, a brand new 2-year cycle. The Mars is conjunct this moon, which means it's also conjunct the sun. And every time Mars meets with the sun, the king of the zodiac, it receives wisdom, insights, and is kind of like cleansed by the fire of the sun. And then it begins another 2-year venture around the zodiac. And so for you guys, you have a prosperity, a new time of prosperity coming to you, something that's very energized, where you're able to go out and fight for the things that you want, because that's what Mars energy is about. With the opposition with Chiron in the 7th, you might find that some of the painful situations in your life actually come through other people doubting you, or difficulty in certain relationships that you have on this process of fighting for what you want or what you believe is right in your life across all areas of your life. And also when it comes to just even taking care of your physical health and your work and things like that. But yeah, so I feel like relationships might be a little bit of a source of discomfort at this time. You guys might find that certain people disagree with you, or that you want to do certain things, but other people you feel like maybe are holding you back in some respect. And you maybe are desiring a little bit more independence, since this is a new moon in your sign, in your house, your sense of self, in your first house. I pulled the Ace of Pentacles, which is, you can see here, this is a pomegranate, and pomegranates are indications of blessings of abundance. And so you guys are really getting a chance to experience a brand new opportunity that feels very abundant, especially because Mercury's in the 1st making a trine to Jupiter in the 5th. This has a potential to grow into something that not only feels really exciting and juicy to you, but has a financial potential to support you in the long term. So whatever new beginning this is, I feel like you are completing a cycle and starting a new one. I mean, we all are, but especially you guys, because it's in your first house and because I pulled the World card. The World card is a celebration, being able to recognize how far you've come. Just like a birthday every year, you get to look back on everything that you've accomplished and start a brand new energetic cycle. And so you guys are doing this, and you have a lot of this Mars energy behind you, which is great for entrepreneurship. It's great for getting your body really in shape. It's great for fighting for equality, or fighting for what you believe is your right. And it's also really good to just do what you want and follow your passions and your heart, and whether this is romantic or career-wise or in all areas of your life. So this World card to me is saying that you guys truly have the potential to utilize this energy from Mars that we don't always have with us, to utilize this to actually create this brand new chapter for yourself. So this is really going to unfold over this next 6 months until Libra full moon, but even more so over the next 2 years until Mars comes back to this place. You guys, I also pulled the Knight of Cups. This is about a love offering or a romantic offering. It doesn't have to be the case, but since you also have Chiron in the 7th, I feel like it's basically addressing that some issues could come up around relationships, and maybe that's where you have to hold those boundaries. It doesn't have to just be a romantic relationship. It can be anybody that you're close with. So maybe it's you really just learning how to stick up for yourself and fight for what you want in a relationship, and not be so pushed around. Because as a Libra rising, you guys are very adaptable. You're very compromising, and I feel like with Mars being in your sign, it's time for you guys to not be so compromising. It's time for you to get what you want, to put yourself first in a lot of ways, and that might be really uncomfortable for you. I also pulled the Stillness, Purity, and Quiet card. So it's weird that I'm pulling this with Mars. Mars is not about stillness. Mars is about action. Mars is about diving head first. So to me, this is advice to not act impulsively. If you are feeling like you want more freedom in relationships and you kind of want to break up with someone or you know, do something to create that freedom, I feel like this card is saying to just hold your horses a bit. Make sure you know what you're doing before you make a decision. Don't just dive head first into something, but allow the passion and the energy of Mars to drive you, but don't allow the impulsiveness to cause you to make decisions that you'll later regret. So that's what I see for you, Libra Rising. If this resonates, please like and comment down below. If you're interested in learning about astrology, then you might want to check out the North Node Society, where I talk to you guys about your purpose and really walk you through how to read your chart. And we have calls every month as a community, and it's honestly so much fun. So I hope to see you there. Bye. All right, up next we have Scorpio Rising. So for you guys, this new moon is happening in your 12th house, and it is conjunct Mars. So to me, this really feels like something that is very internal for you, the experience of this moon. I feel like you guys might have been experiencing very intense energy, especially internally lately, especially because like I said, Mars is this really energizing force, and being in your 12th house, which is linked to the subconscious, which is linked to like basically all the processes that are happening underneath the surface of your life and within your mind. I feel like it's kind of causing a little bit of chaos in your mind. So hang on. I've just been pulling the same cards, so I'm going to start shuffling again. I laid them all out on my desk and was pulling them one by one. But it's just stressing me out, you guys. Sometimes I am a Virgo rising, so I get a little bit bothered by things that don't feel perfect. Okay, yeah, so I feel like you guys are having just a lot underneath the surface, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And Mars is really great about burning things away or cutting things away that aren't useful. And the 12th house is often linked to these thoughts, these feelings that we don't have access to, kind of controlling us and leading to oftentimes self-undoing or self-sabotage, self-isolation. And we kind of wonder why, why is this happening? And it's because we don't really have full access to what is going on in our minds and our hearts or energetically around us with this house. And so I like that Mars is here because I feel like it's going to help you burn away some of the chaos. I think it's going to bring about the chaos, but I also think it's going to help you burn it away or illuminate it, or at least be really driven to start looking at that area of your life, looking at why you maybe don't have as much confidence as you wish that you had. What is it that is stored in your subconscious or that is coming from the past that you don't quite have access to, that is showing you so that's basically the cause. That's where the lack of confidence stems from. It's something from your childhood, from the past, something from the subconscious. There's something that you don't have access to, that the lack of confidence is coming from, and Mars is coming here to highlight it, to draw your attention to it. Okay, 2 of the same cards came out as before. Yeah, to highlight it, draw your attention to it, and finally help you move past it. And I think that that will happen in the next 2 years because Mars is right now being kind of cleansed and revitalized and given wisdom and information from the sun, since it's conjunct the sun, and it will come back 2 years from now for the same thing. And I really feel like this is you guys having restless nights, having insomnia, having anxiety, having worry. That's why I said I feel like there's kind of chaos underneath the surface. The 12th house is also dreams. You might be having more nightmares or literally not being able to stay up because of anxiety, because of just a lot of energy. It might not even be negative necessarily. Your life might be actually going pretty positively, but I'm just seeing this really intense like energy with the Mars in the 12th house in a place that's normally meant to be calm, that's normally meant to be still. And I find it so interesting because I pulled this Queen of Cups, and what I noticed with her right away is that there's this ball of shining red, orange, like light above her cup, and then the waves are like intensely moving in the background. They're not calm. The ocean is moving. And so I feel like you guys are being stirred emotionally by this passion of Mars, by the fire of Mars. But again, I don't think you can quite put your finger on like what it is, or what is going on. And I feel like a lot of whatever is being stirred up right now is to help you gain confidence in this 2-year cycle. So I do think it's going to take time with the 7 of Pentacles. I feel like this is something you have to work at, especially with Chiron opposite the sun in the 6th house. Chiron is in the 6th house. This to me is putting in consistent effort, creating a routine around something that is going to help you feel like you have some sense of stability or some sense of control over a situation. And I feel like this situation is your energy and your mind and your emotions. It's like I feel like once you're able to have some kind of routine that helps you gain control, you will be much more confident because your emotions won't control you. It's not like you'll have a thought and then you'll suddenly be derailed by that thought and upset for a whole day. It's like you have developed a meditation practice or journal practice or something really practical day to day that you can do that grounds you, so that when you have that thought that normally would trigger you for the entire day, you're able to work through it and not let it take over. And I feel like this is going to lead to an immense amount of success. I also feel like you guys are going to have some kind of opportunity come in with this Ace of Pentacles in the future, some opportunity to work on something, produce something, some financial breakthrough, some leveling up, some opportunity for growth. And I think that this is going to be also what causes you to have anxiety. I don't feel like you guys are gonna, because this is the card I end on, is the Nine of Swords. I don't think you guys are gonna have this opportunity and then it's gonna go away. I feel like your anxiety will come out even more, or this like restless nights or this intense energy going on underneath the surface is going to come out even more because of this new opportunity. And again, I feel like this is so necessary because you have to have this come out. You have to have potential for growth come out in order for you guys to know that you don't quite have the confidence that you need right now to that you need in general. I mean, not that you can't make it happen without that confidence, but I feel like this situation is coming, this opportunity is coming to you to challenge you, to show you that you don't have as much confidence as you thought you did, for you to work on this issue and again create those daily routines. I got the She Who Yearns card, yearn, longing, pining for. I feel like you guys are really wanting something very, very badly. That could also contribute to your sleepless nights. And with this Ace of Pentacles as well, I feel like you're wanting something really, really badly. And I kind of feel like the Ace of Pentacles might be the doorway or the beginning to whatever this desire is that you guys have. And because you want it so bad, it gives you anxiety when the opportunity comes. Or because you want it so bad, you have anxiety that when it comes that you're going to lose it, or you're going to fuck it up, or something's going to go wrong. It's like whenever you really want something, everything is at stake emotionally. And so you're going to have to learn how to ground your emotions, protect yourself, and really have some sense of like self-control with all this really intense energy, because longing for something is a very intense energy. it magnetizes a lot to you. So you have to be able, like the last airbender, to like control the energy of whatever that emotion is. So if you really, really want something, can you wield that energy of desire into something useful and not let it like turn against you because you get it and then you get anxiety about losing it or whatever I was saying before. Like that same energy that goes into longing can be then used against yourself. So I feel like that's what the 12th house is like self-sabotage, self-inflicted issues. And it's coming from your own energy, your emotions, this momentum, these thoughts. And so this is really the 2-year cycle that you guys are going to go through, is getting this opportunity and learning how to cope with it, gain a confidence, gain a really stable sense of self, which comes through those daily routines. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, Scorpio. If this resonates, please like and comment down below. I felt like your message was coming through the strongest out of everyone so far, so I hope it does resonate. And if you guys want to learn astrology and really find out more about your life purpose through astrology and kind of understand how to read what your gifts are and your talents are and what your soul desires to experience in this lifetime, then I highly recommend checking out the North Node Society, which is my membership, linked in the description box below. And I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have Sagittarius Rising. So for you guys, this new moon in Libra is happening in your 11th house of friendships and relationships. And wow, I think you guys are feeling very social, very excitable right now, maybe more passionate than usual. Kind of going after some maybe long-term visions or goals that you have, especially with Mars being exactly conjunct this moon and this sun right now. You guys are kind of getting re-energized and revamped towards your goals or your relationships and your sociability. So if you've been, especially, I mean, if you guys have any type of cause that you're really interested in, this is a great time to fight for that cause, to see progress, to fight for that equality on a societal level, to really make your voice heard and known. It's also possible that you might have a little bit of like tiffs and frustrations in your relationships because Mars can cause breakages or disagreements. And so it is possible to have your friendships be a little bit tense as well, but it's also equally possible that the positive side of Mars, the energized, excitable side of Mars, comes out so that you want to make new friends, so that you go out and socialize more and you start to make these new connections. You do have Chiron opposing this in the 5th house, so there can be some element here of wanting to belong and versus stand out, which I kind of mentioned with someone else already. I just pulled a 2 of Swords, so there can be like an indecisiveness maybe around that, following certain hobbies or certain people. I don't know. Let me pull some more cards to kind of see what I'm getting around this. But basically, you guys might maybe have different interests than some of the people that you're starting to hang out with. Let's see. No cards are coming out. It's like I hate when they don't pop out. It drives me crazy. And I don't feel like I have the energy for this right now. There we go. Okay, you guys got the 2 of Swords and 2 of Pentacles. I really feel like you are making some decisions here, needing to juggle multiple things, different perspectives, especially with Mercury in the 11th trying Jupiter in the 3rd, having conversations about some of these different perspectives, being enlightened by people's different points of view, but it could be a little bit triggering against some of your own, with Chiron in the 5th, it's like somehow triggering against like who you are or what makes you you. Yeah, that might not be true for everyone, but there can be. Let me pull a card. What is this Chiron in the 5th house? Because the 5th house is all about really shining our light, showing our gifts, standing out, being authentic to ourselves, expressing ourselves creatively, not being afraid to be seen for our creative gifts. And the moon is opposing this, which means that there is some tension there. There's some like doubt there. Okay, yes, this is what it is. The 5th house is also about our sexuality, and I just pulled this card, She Who Is Wild, untamed, wild, and mysterious. So I feel like this 5th house energy is you, with Chiron in the 5th house, is you kind of containing yourself. So I think about this with myself all the time, especially lately, is the idea that I'm always so self-controlled. I never just outburst and say what I want. I never just do whatever I think. It's always like really monitored. You know, I'm always like trying to appease everyone. I'm never trying to stir the pot. And so there is this interesting like juxtaposition with Chiron in the fifth. There's almost like this need to heal that wild part of yourself, that sexual part of yourself that just can do whatever it wants. It follows its desires. That's what the fifth house is like, I desire this, I desire that, I'm gonna go after it, I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna enjoy it, I'm gonna let my animal side come out. So with Chiron in the fifth, it's saying that you might not actually let yourself do that as much as you should. A lot of it is like, I can only eat this clean food, I can only I have to exercise every day. I have to live according to these rules. I have to be so self-controlled. And I feel like you guys are actually with Mars, with this moon in the 11th house, you guys are actually meant to be a little bit wild, be a little bit crazy, especially through your friends, your connections, group events, ecstatic dance, things like that are going to allow you to bring that side of yourself out. But with the opposition with Chiron on the fifth, it might be very uncomfortable or triggering to just be totally yourself, totally confident and authentic in a group. Like if you're in ecstatic dance, making noises, growling, making weird moves, and not even thinking twice about it. But I think you might think twice about it because of the opposition with Chiron. Yes. So I feel like you guys are really meant to like untether, unravel, allow yourself to just be and do and say what you want in your relationships. Follow your passions, follow your desires, connect with people who are trying to do things that you want to do, that you see yourself doing in the future. But with this Two of Swords and this Two of Pentacles, I feel like there's this back and forth. Like, which person do I want to be? Which direction do I want to go in? Do I want to do both of these things? And like learning how to, I guess, have this nice balance between kind of being honest with people, being direct, being wild, being unfiltered, versus being really civilized, being really controlled, being really non-triggering to other people. It's like there's these two sides of you that I feel like you are meant to learn how to balance right now. But with the Two of Swords, I feel like you're not sure how to balance it, and that's part of what you're learning. And with this Queen of Swords card, you're learning how to use your honesty in the right way. You're learning how to use your discernment in the right way as well. Because Sagittarians, like, you have your own innate truth. You are led by your planetary ruler, Jupiter. You guys are able to access this wisdom and this inner truth that guides you throughout your entire life. But you also have to let in a little bit of that Mars side. You have to let in a little bit of that wild side to kind of, I don't know where I was going with that. But basically, the Queen of Swords is about truth and honesty. And Mars can be that way. Mars can be very blunt. Sagittarians, you guys can be very blunt. But then it's also about the fact that Mars is in Libra, which is trying to also, at the end of the day, somehow stick together through that. So essentially, you want to be able to see different people's perspectives, but you also want to be able to see your own. You want to be wild, but you also want to be tamed in a way. So it's like, I feel like you guys are learning how to kind of balance these things in your relationships and your interactions with others, and even within yourself. So I feel like that was kind of like esoteric for you guys, but that's really what I'm seeing. And you guys might have to make some choices or decisions about relationships as well. Maybe cut away some old people, have some new ones come in, being honest with yourself about that as well. And yeah, so that's kind of what I'm seeing for you guys. So that was a lot of different messages. I feel like there are 3 kind of distinct messages that just came through. So hopefully one of those resonates with you. And if it does, please like and comment and let me know. And if you guys are interested in learning about astrology, if you want to understand your life purpose, if you want to understand how to further go after your goals by utilizing your gifts that you can see through your astrology chart, then I highly recommend checking out the North Node Society, which is a membership linked in my description box below. And I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have Capricorn Rising. So for you guys, this new moon in Libra, this new beginning is happening in your 10th house of career. That's really exciting for you guys. So you might get some new opportunities coming at work, especially ones where you have to stand up and own a greater sense of your confidence, because this new moon is exactly conjunct Mars, which is our ability to lead others, our confidence in knowing that we have what it takes, but also to be diplomatic because Mars is in Libra. So we're going to be diplomatic, but leaders who kind of command attention, who can get what we want done. And so I see you guys kind of embracing this new identity in your career life. And it is being challenged with an opposition with Chiron in the 4th house. So there can definitely be some stuff, some old residue from our childhood or just from our emotional nature that asks us to question ourselves a little bit, that creates that sense of self-doubt or unsureness when we go out and we stand in public. Deep inside of us, there's still that sensitive little child that doesn't know if we have what it takes, that is still traumatized by events from our childhood. Even if it's trauma with a little t, we're all traumatized by our childhood because we're just such sensitive souls. So I feel like you guys are putting yourself out there in a big way with this Mars energy. You're being seen, you're demanding to be heard in your life, you're demanding to have boundaries or to lead others, and cultivating this really strong sense of confidence and aura. But then again with Chiron the 4th, it's like, I don't know, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's legit. I feel like an imposter, that kind of vibe. Like you guys might be really experiencing that at this time. We are all beginning a new 2-year cycle with Mars, because Mars conjunct the sun. It's getting wisdom from the sun. It's right next to it. It's being purified and burned away of all of its past issues. And it's starting to, after this, it's going to start another 2-year cycle until it comes back. And so I feel like a lot of us are, okay, I just keep shuffling and shuffling and nothing is coming out. Just drives me crazy. It's not fun. So yeah, I feel like a lot of us are going to really see the culmination of our efforts that we put in now. 2 years from now, we're going to look back and be like, wow, I've made so much progress on this. So for you and your confidence in your career, owning things, leading things, and honestly being a little bit of aggressive and taking what you want and not holding back, that side of yourself is going to develop over these next 2 years. It's so weird. I literally keep pulling the same card again and again and again, and it says stillness, purity, and quiet. What's funny is that Mars energy is the exact opposite of this. Mars energy is asking us to jump in head first, go after what we want. But I feel like this is advice to not act hastily, especially within your career. Really think things through. If you're going to make some kind of change or adjustment, if you're going to have a conversation with somebody, if you're going to ask for a raise, if you're going to do whatever in your career, you need to really think about this in your life direction. If you have issues with an authority figure, that could really be exacerbated at this time, because the 10th house is about authority figures and Mars can increase this level of discord. So if that's the case for you, really think about what you want to say and don't just blurt it out. Don't just act on whatever impulse you have. So in terms of making career decisions, big life decisions, if you're in school, it could be around school. If you have kids, it could be around your kids. Some really big major life decisions, you really need to come to a place of calmness and meditation to find the clarity before making a choice, because with Mars and the sun, you're going to want to jump right in and think that you immediately have the right answer, and there could be a little bit more nuance than that. I also feel like whatever decision that you make is going to have long-term effects. With the 7 of Pentacles, this is about building something for the future. This is about being diligent, being proactive, taking steps each day, developing your skills, putting in the effort. And so whatever kind of next decision you're going to make, it needs to be something that you can really see yourself doing long term, to think in terms of longevity, because it can have that lasting impact. And with the Knight of Wands, I feel like you guys are also need to be really fired up and really passionate about this beginning. It can't just be something that's practical. With the 7 of Pentacles, there is some element of practicality, but with the Knight of Wands, there needs to be some element of your heart being in it, of this feeling like it's the right next step. you have that kind of Mars knee-jerk reaction of like, yes, I want to do that. But then kind of take it back a second and really make sure that that's what you want to do long term. Because the only other thing about Mars is that it burns out very quickly. But with the Pentacles here, I feel like it's saying that passion is not meant to burn out. That passion is meant to keep going. But you have to make a wise decision from the beginning to know that you're going to want to do whatever that thing is, or build upon whatever this decision is or whatever this thing is. You're going to like ask yourself if you really want to build on that even a year from now. If you don't see it having like longevity or taking you somewhere specifically, I feel like it's not really something worth acting on. I also pulled the Page of Swords. So I feel like you guys, if you take that time for the stillness and the quiet, you're going to get some new ideas starting to come in around how you can step up in confidence, how you can step up as a leader or make these big decisions in your career. I think you guys are going to have more clarity or insight come in, so that, again, don't just jump at the first idea or the first opportunity, because with the Page of Swords, I feel like I said, it can be more nuanced. So new ideas can kind of come in and it can turn out to be a little different than you initially expected, but that is what you need in order to pursue this long term and in order for it to be substantial and practical, but yet passionate. So I hope that makes sense. If it does, please comment and like it and comment down below and let me know. If you guys are interested in learning about astrology and you really want to dive into your life purpose and your gifts and your direction, specifically in your astrology chart, then I recommend checking out the North Node Society membership, which is linked in the description box below. And I hope you have a great day. Bye. All right, up next we have Aquarius. So for you guys, this new moon in Libra is happening in your 9th house. And as I mentioned for everyone, this new moon is exactly conjunct Mars. So it could be a time in which you guys are feeling extra passionate in terms of embracing new studies, embracing the potential for different kinds of growth than you've maybe experienced in the past. That is all self-initiated, especially with this Queen of Pentacles. Mars is a self-initiated planet. Queen of Pentacles is very independent. She has this inner stability that she then externalizes through her ability to take action, to delegate, to know when is the right time to do things. I keep pulling the King of Wands for so many people. So I feel like we're all learning to harness our passions and not just let it burn out, which Mars energy typically burns out. We want to learn how to harness our passions long term. So that's why I like the King of Wands is paired with the Queen of Pentacles, because it seems like you're able to start channeling these interests, these passions, this new learning that's coming in, this new growth that's coming in. You're able to channel it into something productive, scalable, with longevity, with endurance to it. So you're able to take all that energy and that passion, that momentum, and really utilize it long term. Yeah. I also feel like you guys are getting a separate message about relationships. I feel like you guys could have an offering of love or a present relationship in your life that you're uncertain about. It doesn't have to just be romantic relationships. It's some kind of connection that you guys might be uncertain about, or you might feel like you have a lot of different options. And so this is just what I'm seeing from the cards, not necessarily from astrology right now that I'm looking at. But yeah, so you guys might be uncertain about something or have multiple options. I'm going to pull some advice cards to kind of see what that is. So I pulled this desire card. So I feel like you guys are really wanting to manifest some big goal, some big expansive vision, or this big expansive dream in your life. Or you at least want to ground, like I already feel like you guys have an idea of what that is. With the Queen of Pentacles, she knows what she's going after. So this new moon for you guys in the 9th house, for some of you, it might be just solidifying what that vision is and creating an intense passion and a desire for it and going after it in the next 2-year cycle. For some of you, it might just be gaining clarity. For others, you already have that clarity. And I feel like you've already been working towards it. And this yearning, this longing is going to help you, is actually going to help you achieve that goal. It's going to help you manifest. I know that some people say, like, if you're like longing for it, then it's like living in lack. But I feel like in this case with Mars, it's the passion, it's the desire behind it that you're really needing to harness, like I was saying before. And I feel like you guys are doing that over the course of these next 2 years. Okay, a lot of cards came out for the relationship message. I don't know why this random relationship message is coming through, because it's not really what I'm seeing. It could be around different like ideas or beliefs or communication relationships, because you're having this opposed Chiron in the third. You might find that other people don't quite see the vision the way that you do, or you're needing to grow in confidence around how you communicate about this vision, about your life, and about where you want to go. Like maybe you need to open up and actually share about some of these ideas much more openly with people. There's some need to like really be able to to share whatever is going on internally. This yearning, this longing, this vision for your life needs to be spread. The message needs to be spread, but I feel like you're containing it, and there is some self-doubt around that. I think that's part of it. The other thing is I feel like you're just lacking clarity around a certain connection in your life. I pulled the surprise card, so there's a revelation or surprise that could come through, a change and a transformation. She who remains, she who resists. I feel like there's this really interesting thing about changing but then remaining. So I feel like something is going to happen to an existing connection that might kind of catch you off guard, that is going to alter the course of your relationship. But ultimately, I feel like you guys are meant to maintain the relationship, but maybe in a different way. The She Who Remains card, to me, it literally says devotion. I feel like there needs to be some sense of like staying or devoting yourself to this relationship still, despite these changes. I also have She Who Resists, fearless, justified, and resistant. So I feel like this is you guys. I feel like you guys, if you can get past whatever this like changes, if you can face whatever that fear is around this new unexpected news, around this relationship, I hope that this is resonating. It might just be for some people out there, but there is some kind of shock or surprise or change in a relationship that you're lacking clarity around, or there could be some, there's some lack of clarity, and it's for a reason, because something is going on behind the surface that is going to indicate a change in this relationship. But I don't feel like it's just saying to throw it away. I feel like it's saying that like justice will be served if you can resist like falling into the negativity, if you can resist falling into the fear or whatever emotion can come as a result of this change or as a result of this surprise. I feel like it's saying if you can remain with that, you're actually going to get a lot out of this relationship still, even if it's different than maybe what you initially expected. So I have no idea why that just came out, because this was purely from the cards, and I'm sorry if that didn't relate to anyone, but that is what I see for you guys, Aquarius Rising. If this resonates, please let me know in the comments, especially about that relationship, because I am not sure. And yeah, if you guys are interested in learning about astrology, then I highly recommend checking out my North Node Society membership in the description box below. We really focus on soul purpose and your gifts and how to really capitalize on those, and how to read your birth chart to find out what those are. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and check that out, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye. All right, and the last one we have is Pisces Rising. So for you guys, this new moon in Libra is happening in your 8th house, and it's exactly conjunct Mars. So yes, okay. So it's definitely a time when we can start to burn away with this Mars energy. Mars likes to cut, the sun likes to burn. These planets are in combination. They're ready to take action to get rid of things in our life. And for you guys, it's in the 8th house, which is a deeply introspective house. And it's a time for you to go within, specifically into the shadow, into the darkness, which is where we store our trauma, our fears, our insecurities, our shadows in the 8th house. It's all being illuminated. Well, actually, it's a new moon, so it's not really being illuminated, but the sun is there. So I guess in a way, it's like it being illuminated. It's all being addressed head on in a fearless way. And you're meant to be like this hermit who's taking the light into the darkness and illuminating what's there and asking what doesn't deserve to be there. And if you think about scary movies, for example, it's like there's only scary things happening at night, and then they turn on the lights and it's like nothing is there. And I feel like I don't want to minimize our trauma and our fear and say that it's not actually there, but I feel like bringing the light to it makes it so much less scary. And so I think that you guys are being asked to do that right now, to really face this courageously, because Mars is a warrior planet. So being with the sun, it's giving you guys a brand new 2-year cycle to courageously face whatever fears you have had kind of driving you, making your decisions for you without you maybe even realizing it. When people make decisions from fear, it's like the worst thing that they can do. And I think so many people do this. They're like, oh, I can't do that. It's not even that obvious. It's so insidious. It's so hidden that oftentimes we can't even tell when we're doing it. But there can be a lot of fear driving you. And I think this is going to illuminate and have you face that fear head on. And as I said, this is a brand new 2-year cycle, which means that the Mars is with the sun, receiving its wisdom, receiving its insight, and then it's going to leave and go off on its own and start another 2-year cycle. So basically, you guys are going to totally transform your inner confidence and the fear that you have, the shadows, the traumas. You guys are going to shed light on all those and really be able to transform them into something useful, and it's something that's going to push you ahead instead of making decisions from that place. Okay, can I just have a few more cards? The Devil, yes. This is us putting ourselves in shackles. You see how both of these cards are really dark? You guys are going into the darkness. The Devil card is about us doubting ourselves, about us limiting ourselves, and it's all coming from within. It's completely unnecessary. And with Chiron in the second house, some of these things might be coming up specifically around worthiness, around self-confidence, around how much we believe we are valued and how much what we have to offer is valued. So how much money we think we deserve. So that can be a really common thing, that your insecurities are stopping you from fully embracing. Your insecurities can be stopping you from fully embracing your divine right towards abundance and wealth. And I got the 5 of Swords and the King of Cups. 5 of Swords says conflict, arguments, competition. Normally that's what I think is like fighting, but discord, hostility, brokenness, picking up the pieces, struggle, limitations, moving on from a loss, and self-reflection. So, I mean, this new moon can bring up a little bit of I feel like it's very triggering, is really what I'm getting from this. You can have some difficult conversations with people, but I feel like this is really primarily internal. I feel like because, I mean, Mars is making a quincunx to Uranus in the 3rd, so there can be some communication that comes in that acts as a trigger to all this, but I feel like generally what's going on is within you. It's not like you're having this outward fight with someone. I feel like it's going on within you that could be triggered by communication with someone, if that makes sense. So I feel like you guys are maybe kind of at war with yourself. You guys are triggered by whatever this is and uncertain. And the Swords cards to me are all about our thoughts. It's all about our thinking. And then it ends in the King of Cups, which is having this emotional control. It's like coming full circle. And it's really beautiful because it starts off dark with these cards, and then it goes into the 5 of Swords where the sun is starting to rise, or maybe it's setting actually, but the sun is here. And then we go into the King of Cups, which is just a colorful background. This person living in their emotional nature, their passion, excitement. So I feel like you guys are able to achieve an emotional equilibrium that you really weren't able to achieve before. This really stronger foundation of self, this stronger idea of your worth and of who you are, and where you're not easily as shaken or as triggered by what you were triggered at here with this 5 of Swords. So if somebody says something to you that kind of pushes you, this new moon can bring that out for you to address it within yourself and get to this place where when someone says that again, it's not going to even faze you. Or when that similar situation happens, you know how to heal, you know how to handle it, and it doesn't send you into the same spiral as it maybe would have done before. So this 2-year cycle is really for you guys to work on your inner confidence, owning yourself, owning whatever you enjoy, owning your sexuality as well. If some of you that might be applicable, because the devil can, I don't know, I'm just seeing like this right here, which I don't even know, is it like the Kundalini arising from this like devil thing? Anyway, it's just making me think of sexuality. There might be some aspects of your sexuality that's a little bit repressed, because the 8th house is also our sexuality. Yeah, no wonder why that's coming through really strongly. So you guys might even have that as like a thing that's coming up, as like aspects of your sexuality that you haven't fully embraced, that wants to be seen, that wants to, like, yeah, just feel like it's accepted and integrated part of you, rather than something that you can't share with others or something you have to hide or be ashamed of. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys, is having this really strong sense of control, especially emotional control, in your relationships and your sexuality, going after your goals and your dreams. And it all comes from really working on your triggers, your traumas, those things that are involved in the 8th house. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys, Pisces. If this resonates, please like and comment down below. If you're interested in learning about astrology, I have a membership called the North Node Society, and we will basically walk you through everything in your chart, and we specifically focus on purpose, your gifts. And so if that's something that you're interested in, you might want to check that out. I have a whole astrology course in there that you guys can get started with today, and we have monthly calls every month, which I literally just said. Monthly live calls. I hope to see you guys there, and I hope you have such a beautiful day. Bye.